Welcome, everyone. Hope all is well. We have a lot to go over. I mean, when I tell you there are trade setups in just about every pair, it's not exaggeration. You're either ready now or you're setting up for a nice move. So I'm seeing great setups everywhere. A lot of these crosses, and we're pretty much going to cover every pair. And there's a lot to go over because I want to point out some great setups that are potentially setting up, and we have setups that are pretty much ready now to pull the trigger. Uh, and we'll get into it. So let's get started. Risk disclaimer, read it over. And let's go. So this will probably be a long one here because, like I said, there's a ton of setups, and we got a lot to go over. So we wanted Nasdaq to come, and let's jump to the 1 hour chart. We're on Nasdaq 1 hour, right? Big picture, daily chart. We're sitting up here at our quarterly R2. You're in between your 100 and your 123.6. We step out to the weekly chart. That's just 100% of this, right? This potential A, B, C. You're up at your quarterly R2 and in between your 100 and your 123.6. If you look at your pivots, right, you're sitting up here at your R2, and we were looking for a reversal this week to come fill this gap. So I think you're still filling that gap. We'll jump down to 1 hour chart, and we drew up the right. We were consolidating over here, and markets were closed on Wednesday. So you had all this, and then we said you wanted to look for an impulse up, breakthrough structure, a correction, and come fill the gap, and that's what you're getting. So next week you're looking for a trade to come and fill this gap. All right. You're looking for about 300 pips to the downside. Outside of that, I'd be looking for this trade. I mean, outside of that, I don't see much, to be honest with you, because we're right. You're in here at the 123.6, and you are sitting at your quarterly R2, sitting up here at your quarterly R2, but it doesn't mean sell, right? And we're coming into July. July's typically a bearish month for the dollar. It's usually a slow month for trading, and I can see us just, let me delete these drawings. Sorry, it's taking a little longer. All right, so right, you got the gap right below you. You're coming off your quarterly R2, but I could really just see you doing this for just a correction, right? Back to this trend line or going sideways. So you are coming into July. I don't think they're going to just, I don't think you're going to get a sharp sell off come July. I mean, I could be wrong, but either way, we don't have a sell setup. I think you're basically looking for correction once we fill that gap, and you're just looking for a daily sideways movement back to this trend line, right? So, and you're entering July, August, so, and then you got earnings season after that. So, I think we could just go sideways to the end of August. Then you're at this trend line. Then you got, right, and you just pretty much go sideways. You just go sideways until August, and then you got earnings season, and you'd be looking for the same pattern in the 1 hour chart. You'd be looking for a break up, a sharp bust through, and then you'd be looking for consolidation. So, in my opinion, consolidation at your daily 200, and then we would have a sell setup. You're far away from any kind of sell setup in the Nasdaq, in my opinion, other than the lower time frame gap fill that we went over, right, to come fill this gap. Outside of that, I don't see too much to do. All right, oil. And when we look at oil here on daily chart, you are one of two options, right? You're in this sideways contracting market, and you're pretty much looking for two things, right? Are you going to just you're probably going to just work your way back to the lows in some kind of a B wave, and you're just making a flat correction right here, and we're going to work our way down because you're sideways. You're sideways on the daily, you're sideways on the weekly, so you're looking for sideways correction. There's a good chance you work your way back down, you make a flat right here, and then we're going to come take out these lows, right? So there's that possibility, and then we could just correct up here. Maybe it's making a zigzag back to the top. All right, so maybe it's giving us something like this back to the top. So either way, you would have to see what this next correction does, right? Is this next ABC going to hold the 50, or is it going to work its way back down to the low here in a B wave? So I don't see too much to do on oil. Gold, we talked about this WXY yesterday in Market Blitz, 4-hour chart, and we were sitting up here at our 100 and our 123.6. So question is, right, is this a Y? Is this a WXY? Your correction's over and you're coming down, right, to break these lows. So, or we could go up for one more right here and then come down. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking for, and you're sitting right here at your 100 right now. So when we step out to the daily chart, it does look like you want to come down to your daily 89. So the only question you have is, are you going to get a pop right here for a running flat, right? And then you would move this X wave over here. I mean, it would just be a larger degree X wave, but I'll just move the draw. So, right, then you got a WXY, and then you're coming back to break these lows again. Or you're going to correct right here. Market's going to throw you a correction right here at your 100. You're going to get a little sideways action, and then you're going to get that continuation to the downside to go break the lows. All right, so that's that. I mean, if you want to take a shot and buy this flat right here for this Y wave up, you could do that. I mean, you are bullish, and I mean, it's not something I want to do because, like I said, where you're coming off of your quarterly R2, and I'm still looking for this larger WXY structure. You could have just completed an X wave, or are you going to come up here for one more, and then we'll move this X wave over here, right? And then you're looking for a drop, and then we're going to pull the channel. So we're still looking for a larger correction. So when you step out here to the weekly chart, we're just looking to channel, right? So we're looking to come break these lows, and that's that. But if you're a bull on gold and you want to take the shot on this potential flat and this Y wave up, you could do that. You're sitting at your 100 now, so you don't need a big stop. It's either going to work or it's not. This is either a running flat or it's not. So you're pretty much buying here with a stop below these lows. All right. If it's a running flat for a move up, you're in it. If it goes to the 100, you're in it, right? You measure this now. Are we going to stop at the 100 and drop, or are you going to get continuation to the 1618, maybe the 2618? Who knows? So that's that. If you want to take a shot, this would be your risk to find out if this is a running flat. If we start correcting down here, dump the trade, get out, because then you're coming to take out these lows. All right, so that is gold. Pretty much the same thing on silver, right? We go to silver daily chart, and right, you're kind of getting a bearish setup now. Your momentum's down. You had an up cycle, and silver looks like you want to come after these lows, right? Looks like you want to come down to your daily 89. So Silver looks like it wants to do this. And when you drop down to the 4-hour chart, you don't have like a bullish pattern like gold. Like gold has that potential flat right now. You really don't have anything in silver other than this running flat that I got drawn up for the 100 down there, right? Because let me clear these indicators off. And this is your B wave, right? You got an A, B, C down for your B wave. Here's your ray up. And this is your C. All right, so you do have a potential running flat right here. We measure this. And you ran right to the 100 and you started to sell off. So I think you can look for corrections in silver to take on down to go break the lows. I would take profit once you break these lows though, because then you are hitting the bottom of this channel and the potential 7 swing sequence at that point. So that is that. And you'd be looking at this right here as the running flat because this is corrective, right? You have a sharp impulse down, correction. This is a clear 3-wave structure. Breaks the low, come right back up. So this could be a running flat for downside. And then and then you would just be building out something like this, right? Here's your W. Here's your X. And you're coming down for a Y wave. So down to your daily 89 Y wave. All right, so I would look for sells in silver. It's not something I would hold. I would take profit after you break the low there at that B wave. Euro, right? You're looking for sell continuation in euro. We're looking at all of this as a running flat. All right, we're looking at all of this as a running flat. You have 3 waves up right here. You got an A, you got a B, C, and then you have a zigzag correction for your B wave, and then you get that impulse up that tags the 100. All right, and we're starting to roll over. So you are jumping down to the 4-hour time frame, and you're pretty much looking for continuation in this pair, right? So maybe we ride on top of the channel down. You're looking for continuation down to the 100. So you're looking to sell pullbacks. We come out of this, you're looking to sell pullbacks. You want to start seeing lower lows, right? And kind of ride this top line down. So you are looking for sell setups, and you're good to go. We should trend on down to the 100. And daily chart, looking at that as a potential running flat, and you're coming back to these lows. So you are looking for continuation sells, and you're getting a stack right now. So fresh daily stack, and when you jump to the 4-hour time frame, right, you got a nice stack to work with. So you're looking for continuation sells against this high. All right, that is that. Now, it could work its way on up, so it could give you something like this, a flat right here, but then you'd be looking for it to come right down, right? And then you're going up, and then all you're doing is making a running flat right here. Right. Now you're making a running flat structure, and then you're going to go down. But either way, your 4-hour 200 should hold. So we talked about taking sells at the 34 and holding money for your 4-hour 200. We'll see. Could just keep trending down. So dollar CAD, right? And we're still looking for this flat. It's got to tag the 100 and 123.6. Got an impulse down, zigzag up for your B wave, and you're looking for an explosion on up. All right, you're looking for that on dollar CAD, and come back over here. And See this right here? Kind of what you're doing. See how price comes down, tags the 123.6, and then you get that impulse down, and this whole wave down right here is just real slow. And instead of right, we just have a simple zigzag instead of this flat right here. But you're working your way down to the 123.6, and then you're looking for this impulse up right now. And this is what is probably going to be coming. So you're looking for a strong impulse up. Move this back over to here. And right, you're working your way down, and you're going to get that strong. You're just working your way down. And we do have a daily setup, right? So your momentum's climbing on the daily chart down here. You're at the bottom of a cycle. You're squeezing. You're coming down slow. You're stacked. Your 8's above your 21, right? This thing's ready to go. This thing's ready to go make a move. So you want buy setups all the way. Focus on this 100, this 123.6. I don't think we make it past there, and you're looking for an explosion on up, dollar CAD. So that is that. Aussie. Could be some sideways action, right? So you're still just playing around in this zone right here. And I know I didn't get to many setups yet. Don't worry, they're coming. So the setups are coming. But you're just playing around, right? We got an impulse up here. Are we just building out some kind of a flat right here until July, and then we take off? So I do think the Australian dollar is coming after these highs. So we'll forget about the expanded flat for right now. But what I wanted to show you too is we are coming into July. And when we bring up the spreadsheet here, seasonality, July is typically a very bullish month for the Australian dollar. So it's usually a bearish month for the dollar index, and it's a bearish month for the Swiss franc. So, and if we check out right, here's July on the Australian dollar. Last 15 years, right, you're up. July is usually a strong month for Australian dollar. 5-year, 10-year, 15-year are all up. And this is your 20-year average. So, Australian dollar is typically strong. New Zealand dollar is typically strong. Dollar's typically weak, and Swiss franc is, if you take the average over the last 20 years, Swiss franc's got a negative return of almost 0.5%. So, hence, we do love these NZD Swiss pairs and Aussie Swiss pairs to the upside. So we'll cover them. Yeah, and real quick, right, here's the dollar index. Just on the month of July, you're typically down 0.5%. So, and when we take a look at the Australian dollar, right, take a look at Aussie. It's usually one of its bigger months. All right, so we want to be on the buy side of the Australian dollar this month. And not just for the heck of it, because you are consolidating here with a daily stack. And it does look like you want to come after these highs over here. Alright, so looks like you want to come after these highs. And you're just making a three-wave structure, basically, back to these highs. So I do think we are getting this for the month of July. Alright, so that's the Australian dollar. And same thing with New Zealand. I think you're bullish. I think you're just building out some kind of a flat right here. So I think you're doing this. Come July, I think we get continuation to come take out these highs. So maybe we correct a little more this week in the dollar pairs. Again, I don't love buying. I'm not right, because these should be three strong currencies this month: New Zealand, Aussie, and the US dollar. So but it does kind of seem like Aussies or New Zealand's making this pattern for the upside, so just let it do its thing for right now. I mean, you don't have a sell setup, right? There is no sell setup, so. We covered CAD, dollar Swiss. You want buys in dollar Swiss all the way. We covered this. This is a setup we covered, and we took these buys from down here. Uh, and we covered that in the Market Blitz video, right? So, and one of the reasons, because we're getting bullish setups, right? Swiss franc just had 2 surprise rate cuts. One the other night. The first one was a surprise rate cut. And we're getting a bullish setup on our chart, right? So this setup usually tells us that we're pulling back, we're oversold on our Stoke, and we're holding our momentum, right? Our 8's above the 34. So it tells you you want to come back after these highs at a minimum. At minimum, you're looking for a double top, but your 100 comes in up here. All right, and that 100 would be nothing but your monthly 89 and 200. All right, so right, your monthly 89 and 200 are up here, so we are looking for that setup. You're looking for buys all the way on dollar Swiss, and it's pretty easy. All right, and an easy way to play it on dollar Swiss is just put your chart on Hankanashi. Right, you can put it on 4 hour or 1 hour, and you're looking to buy 34 Bs, right? Buy 4 hour 34 Bs. You're looking for a couple red candles. When you get a green Hankanashi, take it on up. And you're basically looking to stay in it until you get a red Hankanashi candle below the 8. So we're looking to go. We are looking to go. And I like this weekly signal. All right. So that is that. Pound. I think you can sell for continuation on pound. So 4 hour chart. Daily. You've got 3 down, 3 up. So I don't know. You're at the bottom of a cycle, so if you get a setup on the 4 hour, you could take it, but you're at a dangerous spot on the higher time frame. So that's pound, dollar, yen. You're up here at your 100. So we'll step out to the daily chart, and you're sitting up here at your 100 for this running flat. I'll throw the other chart on. Get rid of these indicators. All right, so you're sitting up here at your 100. So, I mean, if this is an ABC correction, you're going to get whacked right here. And so, if we're going to get this, it's going to come from right here. All right. You're looking for a move down to break these lows. You got an A, you got a B, you got a C. You're up here in the middle, you're 100 and you're 123.6 now. You're coming up here past your quarterly R2. This is a great sell setup, in my opinion. I know it's picking a top, but you're not picking a top in the middle of nowhere, right? You're picking a top at the potential completion of a C wave at your quarterly R2. So for this potential flat. So, right? So just take a sell setup in the lower time frame. So you're looking for a sell setup in the lower time frame on the 1 hour chart. So we'll be tracking dollar yen this week to see if we get any. It's going to be worth taking some sell setups in the lower time frame and put them to break even to find out if we're going to get this C wave down. All right, if this C wave down's coming. And we have similar patterns in CAD yen, right? I like CAD yen as well. We already took a couple shots, but CAD yen, you're coming up into this 100 now. We were involved over here as well, all right, because all of this could have been correction for the impulse down, and this could have been the start of it. Right here was Bank of Japan rate decision, and we never came through this structure right here. So you could have dumped the trade at that point, waited for a daily close below the 8, trade it in the 1 hour, and you never got another setup, or you kept it and put your stop above the high and you're stopped out. So no big deal. We knew this was a possibility, all right? We knew that this expanded flat was a possibility. And you're coming into the 100 of that now. Again, I like sells on this pair, right? Here's your A, here's your B, here's your C, and you're looking for an impulse to the downside, all right? And again, you're not picking a top in the middle of nowhere. You're going to look to take something on the smaller time frame. You are up past your quarterly R2 and have a potential complete pattern for a C wave down. And this trade's ready. I mean, it's ready to go. You're just waiting on a setup, right? So you're just waiting on a 1 hour sell setup. I mean, you can even put your candle on Hankanashi like this and put it on 4 hour and just take your first 4 hour Hankanashi, close below the 8 up here. Take it. And you don't want to see a close above that high. So that's how you can play CAD yen. I was also in Euro yen right here. All right, because Euro yen had this same running flat right here possibility. I took this off yesterday. I got stopped out yesterday, but I was looking for this potential running flat right here, the A, the B, the C, and I wasn't risking much to find out if we were going to get this impulse. I am leaving this 1618 here because that could still come into play. So you do want to pay attention to this level as well because it's not a higher high. All right, so it's not a higher high until you take out this. So keep an eye on 17126 on Euro Yen. Again, you're looking for sell setups, but the clearer patterns are in dollar yen and CAD yen. And then we'll just go to Swiss yen because we've got orders peppered in this one as well. All right, so 4 hour chart, Swiss yen, and we peppered orders on 38.2, 618, and 786, right? So to find out if this is going to drop, right? So when you step out here to the monthly chart, you've been above this monthly 8 now, going over 4 years, right? So almost 5 years above the monthly 8. So, and you're well past your quarterly R2. Uh, well past your quarterly R2. Your quarterly R2 is all the way down here. You're probably sitting at your quarterly R3. So, right, when we look at this thing on the monthly chart, and Swiss has already had 2 surprise rate cuts, and Bank of Japan is not talking about cutting rates, and they're talking about raising rates. If inflation gets sticky, they're expecting inflation to grow. So if anything, Bank of Japan's a lot more hawkish than Swiss. So, right, if you're a bank and you've been in this, you've got to be thinking take profits. You're way overextended, past your quarterly R2, sitting at your quarterly R3, and this thing's due for a pullback down to the monthly 34. All right, so that's my thinking, and I want to take lower time frame sell setup. So you got them peppered here, right? So if you don't want to pepper orders, you could just simply stick a sell order under keep a sell order under your last structure, right? So right now you come down, make a higher high. This is your last structure. Just keep a sell order there, right? Just in case this thing completely dumps like this, you want to be in it, because when Swiss yen comes down, it is going to be fast, because you're going to have a lot of people trying to get out of it at once, right? So it's going to be a sharp, swift spike down. So 1 hour chart, you could just keep an order here for now, right? So and just keep trailing your structures. If we do come and take out these tops again, then just keep trailing your structures on up, right? So if we come and make another higher high, move this to right here, all right? Sell order right there waiting, right? So you want to keep trailing your structures on the 1 hour chart. So, and you're trying to catch a spike down that looks like this, because when it starts, it's going to be fast. All right, so that's that. Aussie CAD daily chart. We do like this one. You're consolidating. You got a lot more room to the upside. Like I said, Aussie's bullish for the month of July. So you're looking for, you want continuation buys in Aussie CAD. So, what else do we have here? Aussie Swiss. You want buy setups all the way, right? So I'll put the chart with the Hankanashi on. We'll go to daily chart. And right, we bought this the other day, and the game plan is you want to buy and hold until you get a red Hankanashi daily candle below the 8. Something that looks like this or this, right? You get a red Hankanashi below the 8, shut the trade down. But you want to be in it for this next weekly cycle, right? So, and you just had a weekly squeeze down here on Aussie Swiss, right? So you're squeezing, and that squeeze fired off, and now your first setup is a bullish setup. You're oversold, holding your momentum. 8's above your 34, right? Your higher time EMAs are bearish, but your shorter term are still bullish. So we could want to climb higher. We could want to climb to our weekly 200. We might want to climb to our monthly 89, right? So we could make a run all the way up to our monthly 89, and it would be nothing, right? Just another lower high up here, your monthly 89, but you're looking at almost 1,000 pips to your monthly 89. So you want buy setups, right? And this thing's ready. So go to 4 hour chart, and you're getting a buy setup right now in the 4 hours. So you're looking to buy, right? Buy the break of this 200. So you basically stick an order here, right? If it takes you out, your stop goes here, and you're in this thing until you get a daily close below the 8 on the Hankanashi. So it's that simple. And this thing should run. So you're coming off the 200 now with nice divergence on the daily chart. You also got nice divergence. You tack on seasonality. I like this pair. So I like this pair a lot to the upside for the month of July. All right, so I like dollar Swiss, and we also like NZD Swiss, right? You got the same setup. You're coming off your 200. You got a green Hankanashi today. Just take this, right? Take this trade. Weekly chart, right? What are we looking for? And it's the same thing. You're coming into oversold. Right? It's a higher low. You're coming into another higher low. Your 8 and your 21, your 34 stacked, and you're simply looking for another higher high. All right, so on the weekly chart, go back down to the daily, and this is a nice buy setup right now. So, that is that. Let's see, what else do we have? Aussie New Zealand, right? We'll go to weekly chart. And you can see we just fired off this long squeeze down here. And I was looking for this to come on down and break these lows and then come up to complete this pattern, right? So you got a flat in the middle right here. You got an A, you got a B, you got a C, and then we come up for that larger wave, right? So just completing that larger flat. And I was looking for this, but I think this structure has changed, and we are now going with this, right? We're going to label this the W, flat correction, and then you got an X wave down here, and you're coming up here for a Y wave. All right, so we got to change the structure, and you do have a nice little stack here on the weekly chart. You're stacked bullish, you're getting a weekly bullish signal, and you just had fired off this squeeze. All right, so this thing could go make this Y wave, and we're just looking at this as your W. Here's your X wave down and your Y wave up. So you measure all of this now. We'll measure this, and you're coming in at about 112. All right, then we measure this impulse to here, and your 100 lines up, right? So you're looking for a continuation on Aussie New Zealand up to 112. And when we dive down to the 4-hour chart, right, what are you looking for? You're looking for this right here. 3-wave structure. See how clean this is right here? You're looking for a 3-wave structure. You already got one. You're looking for one up, one more down. 1, 2, 3, you go. 1, 2, 3, you go. 1, 2, 3, and you go. All right. And what's in common here? Take your close above the 8 and your trigger bar. You got 2-day correction. Close above the 8 and your trigger bar. You got 2-day correction. All right. Close above the 8 and your trigger bar. 2-day correction. Close below the 8 and your trigger bar. You're looking for a 2-day correction, right? And go. You're looking for a 1, a 2, a 3, and you're going. All right. So clear drawing set. You're looking for a 1, 2, 3. So you could take this first pullback, but give it room, right? Take that first one. If we make this, you're going. You're going to 112, all right? So, and you're looking to stay green on daily Hankanashi, all right? So, I like that one. Euro-Oz, I think you can sell this one. When we look at Euro-Oz here on monthly chart, I think there's a good chance you're coming back to your monthly 200. This is a stack right here, but it had a chance to go and didn't. So I think we could come back down to your monthly 200. If we step out to the 4-hour chart, I think you could take 4-hour sell setups, right? You got a nice 4-hour stack now. You're coming up to over, but again, you're holding your momentum. So I think you can go ahead and look for Euro-Oz continuation sells. All right, if you want to wait for a daily correction, maybe wait for a daily 34B. If we get a daily 34B, you're looking for a continuation. So that probably won't be set up right now. Another one I really wanted to cover was pound CAD, because you're going to have a great setup on your hand. And we're coming into 618 now. So, and we're still on Hankanashi. So we would love this thing to get down to the 100 at about 171 down here. And you got a big running flat to the upside, right? So you're looking for about 1,000 pips if we can get down to this daily 200. So mark this one up. This is going to be a nice trade. And if we look at it with our pivots on, right, at your next quarter's midpoint, we'll jump out to the daily, right? That would line up with your midpoint, your 200, and we'd be looking for a rip up. So, and this is a nice looking chart, right? When you look at this thing on the daily chart, right, you've just been in a nice, comfortable uptrend for the last, right, year and a half. Every time you come back to the 200, it's the low. All right, it's the low, it's the low, it's the low. You're 89, right? You get a couple 89s in here. So there's no reason to think that. And this is a nice looking trend, right? It's not overextended. You're going up nice and neat. and you got potential pattern completion here in the direction of the trend. So we are on our 618 now, so we'll be on the lookout for any bullish setups, and we don't have them yet. All right, so we don't have them yet. Ideally, I would like to correct a little more here and drop down to our 100. All right. And that is pound CAD. That one is setting up nice. I think these ZAR pairs are nice trades as well. You're getting ready to come down to the 100 in pound CAD. Step out here to the daily chart, right? Your hundreds down here at 22.30. And you're looking to buy that, right? You are looking to buy this. And we're looking for an impulse up, all right? To the back to at least back to the top of the range. When we go to euro, it's the same thing. Euro ZAR, right? And let's go to the Henkinashi chart. And let's go to weekly chart. Well, let's not go to weekly chart because Thinkorswim's ridiculous. But oh, there's Euro New Zealand. Here's Euro ZAR. All right, you're coming into this 100 now, right? This A, B, C, and you're looking for a move up right here. So basically, if you're not in this, I'm already in this. I took this the other day, and we got our next quarter's S1 down here. I don't want to see a close below here, but really, all you got to do on the daily chart is take your next green daily Henkinashi bar, right? And you can take a shot, and then you're looking for a string of green. You get a green daily Henkinashi bar right here, it's going to be a nice trade. Same thing on dollar ZAR, right? You're coming into the 100. We're looking for this impulse up, and these are bullish on the higher time frame, right? So higher time frame, you're busting out of this structure to the downside, counter trend. You're bullish, and you're looking for an impulse up. So daily chart coming into the 100. Take a shot on your first green daily Henkinashi bar and see if you get this rip up, right? You're just looking for a strong rip like this. Strong impulse up. And just take a shot on a green daily Henkinashi. We'll be keeping an eye on it in the daily Blitz videos. All right. NZD CAD is also ready, right? This thing's ready to buy. So we're waiting to pull the trigger. We're right where we want to be. We're just waiting on a signal. All right. So 4-hour chart, you're coming into your 200. So we don't have to rush right yet, but we could take a daily green Henkinashi bar. We can take a 4-hour double bottom. So we'll see what sets up. This is a nice trade. You want buys in NZD CAD as well. So this could be your first pullback after the break of structure. And we could be coming after these highs. All right. So we could be coming after these highs. And this is not a bad looking chart to take a buy setup on for. See if we're going to get continuation. So like I said, we'll be watching this one in Daily Market Blitz. All right, so I think I covered anything. You're on the lookout on dollar ZAR and yeah, your Swiss. All right, dollar ZAR, euro ZAR, pound ZAR. You're looking for them daily Henkinashi green candles. Aussie Swiss, right? You want Aussie Swiss. You want NZD Swiss. You want dollar Swiss. You want them buys. Remember, typically, if you average over the last 20 years of seasonality returns, July is typically a very strong month for Aussie and New Zealand. So, and Swiss is typically a negative 0.5% month. So, you couple that in along with the bullish setups we're getting on the weekly chart, you want to take them. So, I do like them a lot. I like dollar Swiss as well. Even though dollar is typically bearish for July. So we're keeping an eye on pound CAD. A lot of setups, right? You're looking for that big up move in dollar CAD. You're looking for dollar to hit that 100 and rip. You're looking for sell continuation in euro dollar. So there's setups everywhere. And we'll be covering them all in Daily Market Blitz during the week. So do me a favor, if you like what I'm doing, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Have a good one.